right thing, the right song we got to sing. Some people wanna do wrong and wanna stay strong, but listen to my song. There is a right way.
Well, still a beautiful Thursday evening right here on your Happy Day station. In case you're just joining us, this is the Reggae Vibes show on your Happy Day station at 9.9 in Lusaka and the surrounding areas, talking about 5FM radio. Well, let's get to see if I can get to have my guest this particular evening. And well, welcome to it in case you've just tuned in. Alright, so I have my guest right here. Nana, hi, good afternoon, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
All right.
I must give thanks to the Most High. I'm great.
Definitely. All right. So right here in Africa, Southern Africa, Zambia, it's actually evening, and it's always great to connect with people from the other world and just get to know more about the music and obviously just get to know more about them. You are welcome on Reggae Vibes show with yours truly, Professor Lance.
Greetings to all the listeners. Greetings to each and every one. Enough love.
Thank you so much. And of course, to you, our dear listener, remember that we are coming live to you from Lusaka on at 9.9 and the surrounding areas, as well as also you can get hold of us using digital platforms that which you can catch 5FM radio on, Radio Garden, Online Radio Box, as well as Simple Radio. Just get to download any of them and then you'll be able to listen to your Happy Day station, the station that which you'd love to sing along to. Who is Nana? When did she start doing music?
Okay, greetings family. I've been singing from a child. I've been singing in school, like primary school, and I've been doing it in the church. You know, when you're young, you have to go to church with mom and dad. So that's how I was doing. Yes, so I started singing from those tender ages, building up myself. Until my teacher took me to school, took me to Negril, that's in the tourist area, to perform for guests. So I was singing like from 12-13 on shows in Negril and Montego Bay, you know, in the hotels for guests. So I started working my little money from a tender age, you know, because I was getting paid, you know. So growing up with a mom who she was the head of her choir in her church, she would just keep singing and I would just keep singing with her. Sometimes I find myself singing even harmonies with her. Wow. But I didn't even recognize that it was harmonies. I was just trying to do something different from her and it blended. So, you know, it's from that tender age that groomed Nana into who I am now as a Nana.
Beautiful and awesome. I'm very much interested. You started getting paid at a very tender age, you know, performing in front of artists and having this teacher that helped in doing so, obviously grooming you and having you perfect your art at such a tender age. How was the experience, or how was it like at a tender age you stand in front of people and, you know, perform for them? You didn't have phobia, like fears, you know, there's just always the shivers that come, like, hey, I'm standing in front of people.
No, it was so natural because, as I told you, it started in school and church. And, you know, school and church are singing from 5, 6, 7, going up until, you know, at 12 years old in the school, I was the only child wearing a whole uniform in the school choir that made the school choir, while all the other children were wearing blouse and skirt. You know, they were in like 11 and 12th grade, but I was just going to the school in a 7th grade and get to be a part of the school choir because I was singing so well that they acknowledged me. So because I was going out doing that little lead part, I wasn't only a member of the choir, I was doing the lead section because I was this little girl who could go out and sing and pose and and you know, respond to the people, and they say the principal would love me and said, yes, she has the proper choreography for the songs. Wow. So she have to lead it and have the lead voice. So doing it from that age, when my teacher took me out now to perform for international people. It was just the norm. It was just the norm because I was well groomed.
You had best teachers just in your tender age before you decided that music was going to be part of your career.
Yes, I think the teachers acknowledge it, and the teachers, they pull it out of me, you know. They taught me to build myself. They taught me, even though I was doing it in the church, it was just like going to church and sing. But in the school, it was much different because the teacher would acknowledge the talent and said, no, I have to take you to Negril for you to perform. I performed with Peter Touch before Peter Touch died.
Oh, yeah.
You know, at that age, you know. I remember Peter Touch coming into the room where we were ironing our costume to go on stage, and he threw his gown on the board and said, "Little one, iron this for me."
Wow.
And I ironed his. I did well with it because you know he always wear robes. So I did well and put it on a hanger. The same hanger that I had for my clothes, I used it and hung up his clothes. So after finishing my clothes, I had to just throw it over something else because I didn't have my hanger. But I was feeling so good, you know, as a little girl, to know that I was ironing Peter Touch clothes.
Yeah.
You know, so I performed with Peter Touch and Gregory Isaacs and all of those veterans that came to Negril to sing at that time. You know, I got exposed with them from a tender age. It felt so good, you know, knowing that I was on stage with all these giants. These giants like a Ken Booth, like a John Holt, like the Mighty Diamonds. I've seen them all at such a tender age, you know?
Yeah.
So I was well groomed.
Well, so I'm interested. After that concert, how was your life? Because hey, it's like you had already made it at a tender age, performing with such big names on the same stage. How was your life after that?
My parents decided that I had to pay attention to school.
Oh.
You know? They decided that I had to they wouldn't stop me from going like to sing in the evenings and be back home, but I was to be paying attention to my books, and that was their main interest, you know, paying attention to my books. So I didn't really get the chance to go out and to penetrate recording and all of that from that tender age. I was to be focused in school.
Those were mama's words, like, okay, hey, don't get big-headed just because you've shared the stage with legendary artists. You know, school first before you do anything else.
Yeah, exactly, that's it. School first, you have to penetrate school. If you're not going to school, you're not going to be able to write your songs and to be doing your interviews.
Yeah.
She taught me well anyway, because at that time, I was a little vexed, you know, saying, Mama don't want me to go and do what is inside of me, and I don't like that. But I was to be saying it behind her back. But after growing up now, I realized, I said, but she was right. She was right, because there were so many things going on that I had to have some experience I was to learn about first before really approaching the business. So I think she was right. Yes, after growing up now, you know, you realize that Mama was right. So I'm saying this for all of the little girls, all of the young people who are listening to me, to know that it is important to listen to your parents. It is really, really important, because sometimes the things that we love and think we're going about it the best way is not always the best way. Yes, it is very important to educate yourself, because at the end of the day, education is so vital in your career. Writing songs for the world to love. I mean, let me tell you something. Our God does not partial.
Yeah.
Because I have seen where people who cannot read none at all make hit song. Yes, I have seen that right in the music industry here. People who are unable to read, they make hit songs. But tell me what, the others have to be around giving them a line or telling them, no, change that and put this. They still needed help.
Yeah.
It's a talent where they have that talent and they can find the melody, but to put the words into place, they still needed help. So in all aspects, education is first priority for a musical career.
Definitely, education is first priority. Now, still coming back to your tender age or your youthful days, many a times that one may have this particular talent and probably hit the limelight early. With education, they may tend to take another route because obviously they might have attained something which is better, or they would have realized at a later stage to say this is much better than my talent or than what I thought was okay. You still continued with music. What kept you going?
What kept me going was, even when I wasn't fully penetrating the music, every concert that is in my community or neighboring community, everyone would still come for me. And my mother would happily send me because that wasn't preventing me from school. That wasn't in my school time. So I kept doing it because I was so known in my community and neighboring communities that my mom couldn't stop all of that. She couldn't stop all of that. She could only defend the school time. And say, well, you have to, but during, like holidays, and some people keeping school fest or like a concert for the community, I would still be allowed to go and sing, but not to work.
Wow.
Not to work. Like, I have to go out like at 6 o'clock and come in like at 10 and ready to go back to school like in the morning. No, that was all cut out. But I continued in a little way, like for the concerts that the neighbors would have, the community, or that is nearby, because going to Negril was very far away from me. That was about 20 something miles. So like a 1 mile or a mile and a half from home wouldn't be a problem to me.
How easy was it for you to write your first professional song and obviously have it produced and released on the market? And what was the feeling after when you could hear your song playing on local radio, people just commenting in the community about your first professional song?
My first songs after leaving to the country, then after leaving and coming to Kingston, because I had a song, Welcome to Kingston Town. I don't know if you have it there. Welcome to Kingston Town. Every little thing they are told, welcome to Kingston Town. I wrote that song after coming to Kingston, because after graduating from school, and I'm an adult now, because they say after you're 18 you're an adult. But I didn't really come to Kingston until I was about 20. So I was doing cover version songs for Sly and Robbie. The first 3 songs that I recorded was for Sly and Robbie, because they saw me performing on a stage and they sent for me and invited me to the studio. So I sang 3 cover versions, which titled I Love You for So Many Reasons, Dance with the Lady Dance, and another. And that was before I wrote songs to sing.
Okay.
So my first recorded songs wasn't original.
Okay.
Wasn't original until I start doing original songs. So it was like I was writing songs and putting them down and reviewing them and singing them for other professionals to hear, and they would say, yes, get those songs recorded because they're very good songs. So even though I was singing cover versions before recording originals. And being in the music business is not so easy. It's not so easy. It is very hard, especially for females.
Yeah.
Depending on the producer that you come across. Because some producers like Sly and Robbie, they're very nice producers. I wish that all my producers were like them.
Yeah.
But sometime along life's journey, you move from face to face, you meet different people, you know, and you would face different experiences, you know, with different type of mindset, you know. But when I recorded, I remember recording a few songs for a few producers that I didn't even hear again. But when I did a song named Mama Say, it was after I started growing my locks and start loving Rastafari movements and start choosing my own path in life. I wrote a song named Mama Say from the day me born, she knows me a Rasta, in which the song did have to be written because I got beaten for meeting some Rastafari and running to them when I saw them walking across my yard. You know, they were living in the hills and they had to walk past my home. I was living near the river to go up into the hills. And when I saw these men passing in their crocus bag clothes, I haven't seen that yet. So that was so, I run to them, and if they ever move out of the way, I would just mash up myself. The way how I was running to this man. And they would just hold me, you know, and lift me up and, you know, make much of me and ask me about my schoolwork and, you know, encourage me to do better and so on. So, Mama always tell me that I don't have any ambition, because when I see pastor come into our home, I don't run to pastor. But when I see the dirty rasta them, run to them, you know? So, when I was writing that song, I said, Mama said, for the day my band, she knows me a Rasta. Well, that was a song that was playing on every radio station here in Jamaica. And that made me feel so good. I feel so good that when I got the record in my hand, I was leaving from town now to country back to my home. I hold my hand outside of the bus with the record in my hand that everybody could see that I made a record.
Wow. Okay.
That everybody could see that this is my first record. So, you know, trust me, it's a feeling. It's really a vibe.
I can tell from that. Now, maybe let's do you know, a rewind and then try to come you know, to the present. So, growing up, singing in choir, Mama was singing in choir as well. Obviously, this is gospel music right there. How or when did it happen that you had to switch from, obviously, maybe let's call it soul music, from soul music to reggae music? I know reggae music as well has categories in it. It can be reggae soul, reggae rock, reggae, you know, all these other genres that can be there. How was the switch? What triggered the switch from, you know, soul music, gospel or soul music to reggae, you know, either reggae R&B and reggae soul?
I realized that reggae music, when I listen to Bob Marley, I realized that reggae music soothes the heart of the people. It have more the story in the life of people would come in storyline in the songs. You know, I realized that experience, different people experiences and the prophecies. You know, I thought about that, and then I start getting my own inspiration by, I would be seeing things before it eventually happened. And I would say it to people. I would say, I never used to say anything. And when I start seeing it happening, I started to say, but nobody's not gonna believe me, because so I'm going to start telling people now what I see before things happen. And I start sharing it with people and tell people how I feel. And I realize sometimes when things do happen, they said, oh, you know, said things like this was going to happen, and you know. I said, I don't know, but it's like a premonition. So it's just the whole vibration that changes me. It's the influence from the cultural people, the lifestyle that I used to see those times, the lifestyle and the way how they go about the food that these people eat, and it's a whole lot different. It's a whole lot different from even when I was going to church. You know, I love being to church. Don't get me wrong, because that's my first training ground.
Yeah.
But when I grew up, I have a very different experience with the cultural people. You know, so that helped mold me into who I am even now. You know.
Yeah. Now.
Changes a life and things like that.
Yeah. Now, many times people have always said that reggae music is revolutionary music that gets to talk about the oppression of the people, how different rulers get to oppress the people, and reggae artists are the voice for the voiceless because they bring these issues out and get to talk for the less privileged. Is that the kind of message that moved you, that hey, I think I have to be that artist who makes a difference in one's life?
Yes, oh sure, because as a little girl growing up, I learned to take care of the elders. I've seen my mom doing that, and that was grown into me even after my mom died. Even today, I'm speaking to you now, I have a few elders that I still have to tend to. You know, I still have to make sure they have food, and whenever they have to go to the doctor, I still have to be there, because some of them don't have any children. Some of them do have children, and children have a way of being ungrateful. The rest is history. So it's a part of me. It's that love that I was grown with. I like to see people satisfied, even if it is not 100%. But the 80% of satisfaction that can soothe one mind and make them feel good about themselves. That is me. So eventually, that kind of music is just, it's a part of me. It becomes a part of me. It wasn't hard. It's so easy. Like if I'm to sing a song with struggle now, I can just listen to the rhythm and go around my mind and just sing without writing, because it's a daily experience. So darling, I must tell you, that is something that is embedded in me because I live it.
Okay. Now, switching from well, for lack of a better term, let's call it switching from Christianity or from going to church to doing reggae music, or probably believing in another faith. How did Mama, take it when she knew or found out that you into reggae music and obviously following culture people now?
Well, darling, when I did Mama say from the Jamaica band, she called me and she said, "Don't put my name in a rap song."
Okay.
Don't put my name in a rock song. I didn't grow up like that. And what you going to let the church people them say about me? What you going to let them think about me? And I would feel a little way in that I didn't want to disappoint Mama.
Yeah.
Because Mama is my heart, where I didn't want her to be thinking, I didn't want her to feel no way bad about me. But even though she was pressuring me, I tell you the truth, I went through pressure with Mom.
Yeah.
But I still keep a love with her. I still supported her in the way I can. And I lived to hear my mom tell me before she passed away. She said, if you are a Rasta, that means a Rasta are good people.
Yeah.
My mom told me that before she passed away.
Wow.
Yes. I remember her telling me that. And I look at her and said, Mama, it's the mind and the heart. Remember, it never changes. And she said, yes, that's what I noticed. You never change. You remain the same person. And I must tell you that if it is how our Rasta is, that meaning Rasta are good people. It's just a different way of life. I said, yes, Mama. Because I didn't really know how to explain that to her.
Yeah.
But she of herself found that out and, she commended me on it. So I was thankful that she died feeling pleased with me.
Yeah. Wow. Now let's come back to your music. So you do your first studio song. It gets massive airplay and promotion here and there. Obviously, it happens. It happens, and wherever that comes and goes. Going forward, how how did you put your career in making sure that people that followed and loved your music still kept in check and they look forward to your next song, because the lyrical content is something which they get to relate with and it speaks a particular message to them, which they would say, yes, this is it, and probably this is the route I would want to take?
I didn't really continue singing all along, I end up start singing background vocals for different artists when it gets hard on me. When it really gets hard on me, I started singing background vocals. I was touring with Gregory Isaacs. I toured with Currency. I toured with a few artists. Well, so at that time, while I was touring, I wasn't concentrating on recording because so many things was facing me that I wasn't up to. So I used my talent a different way. But after now, just few years ago, when I started really recording again and said, yes, I am building it. I'm a grown woman now.
Yeah.
I can stand up for what I believe in. And, I'm going to go forward now with my messages. I realized that I started getting bookings from people all over the world. I've started touring on myself as EQ and start recording songs after songs. And people are just commending me. You have people that come up to me and said, EQ, I respect you because you stood your grounds and you stand up for what you believe in. And now here you are. We are proud of you. So I get to hear this every day now.
Wow.
So as for the young girls and the young boys out there, it doesn't really happen just like that. If you have a management team, that is there for you from day one, then your career can be easily built. But if you're on your own, struggling and striving to be someone, then it's going to be hard. Because that was exactly what was taking place with EQ. So it's going to be hard. So having a management team, a reputable management team, you can go forward. But if you're on your own, trust me, it's not going to be so easy.
Moving from Kingston, Jamaica to New York City, how was the transition and still continuing to do music even in a new environment? Did you feel any difference getting into a new environment and probably having to create a new community or get to know a new community away from that which you had created in Kingston?
I didn't. When I went to New York on shows. I didn't went there to live.
Okay.
I went to New York on shows. I went to California. I went to Jersey. I went to a few places well in America I've been to. And I've been to Canada also. I've been to Brazil. I've been to Argentina. I've been to a few Caribbeans well. I've been to a few places. So it's just where the music take me, you just go. Sometimes I go as opening act for some of these veterans. And sometimes I go on show. So it's just that as long as you love the Almighty, no one should never ever take the Almighty out of their life. It doesn't matter who you're comfortable calling him, whether Allah. I love all my family. I don't care if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Rastafarian, we're one people. And we should love and respect each other for whosoever they see themselves, however they see themselves, and whosoever they feel comfortable praising. I think we should have tolerance with each other. So that, and don't penetrate that. Just love each other and respect each other and move on. Who you praise is your personal life, that. You know? So going around touring from places to places, I would meet all kind of people and they would all love me because this is who I am. You know, I respect and show love to everyone, and I learn to hold my grounds. I don't like to go everywhere because if that place doesn't suit me, I won't go. I don't like to be in every crowd if you're too derogative or however. You know, sometimes I find myself there too, and I would just quietly say, hey, come on, man. Doesn't sound good. But the tone that I use to speak to somebody is like they wouldn't even get upset. They would just look at me and smile and say, a true queen. No, you feel queen, but you don't know, and they give their excuses. But traveling from places to places, you meet different people, different attitudes, different everything. And as the person with the voice, you can say it's not how you do it, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You know, because changing people's lives is a part of me, and I've done that well. I must give thanks to the Almighty God. He gave me the power that I have seen people around me now who just tell people, say, EQ changed me, no? I'm saying, no, EQ didn't change you. EQ get the word to give to you and you obey. So give thanks to the Most High.
Now,
you know, so,
now let's get to try and a little bit introspect your lyrical content. Where do you draw inspiration from when you sit down to write your music or your lyrical content? Where do you draw your inspiration from? And then what is found in your lyrical content, the music that you've done, the songs that you've done, are these real life issues, real stories, something that has happened, or probably this is just a poetic game where, you know, it's all about business and things have to go, you know, the way they have to go?
No, darling. No, for my songs come through experiences. My song is either somebody's liberty or some experience that I have. My songs are motivation. It is things that I see happening or things that I would like to see happening. A song, I just cannot take up a pen and write just like that. No, it's something that have to come to me. I would just see a situation and just start singing something, and somebody would say, EQ, you make a song after that? And I said, darling, it's not even that I want to make a song, it's a song that comes to me. You know, as for EQ, darling, I'm going to be honest to you. If it was the business alone, I don't think I would be a singer. I would be a nurse because that was my second preference. You know? I just cannot write upon things that just write like I'm writing a composition. No, it's not so for me. It have to be an inspiration.
Wow. How does your music positively impact the people that listen to it?
The people that I spoke to, they would come to me and say, Nana, when you said do the right and don't do the wrong, I look in myself and I said, she's talking the truth. When I tell about women, I tell them to step up their motivation to overcome temptation, provocation and propaganda. Some black queen would come to me and say, Q, thank you. You motivated me, thank you. So the songs that I sing, it's because I've seen it with other people or with myself. It's related to other people because all of us live a similar life. So your story might not be my story, but my story is somebody else's story. And your story is somebody else's story.
Brilliant. Now, allow me to come back to something that you had raised earlier, the issue to do with finding the right producer, to help you either grow in your career or just to produce the right thing. Yes, world over, everywhere, it's never easy for female artists to actually make it in the industry because of selfish reasons that come from producers, promoters, and these management teams that always ask for a sexual benefit away from being professional and doing the right thing. However, if ever you had gone through that, or that at some point had have come in your career, how did you deal with that? And probably what would be the advice that you would give to the young female artists coming up in the industry and wanting to rise to fame either so quickly or so easily?
First, you have to remember some female artists already choose their destiny. If you don't choose your destiny, if your destiny is not roots and culture, then you're gonna go with the flow. But if you're thinking like a Nana EQ, you're gonna walk away and go. Yes, because remember, everybody have a ground. We stand on solid ground. Some people flow with everything, some don't. Nana EQ, I haven't stood up for any and anything, never at all in my life. I walk away, and that's what driven me to singing background vocals. Because I realized I want to stay in the business, but I have now to go and learn some more from veterans. And Father God surround me with some people who I felt comfortable with, and they were just showing me a daughter and father's love, so I accepted that gracefully and went through with it. I walk away from a lot of producers. Yes, I walk away from them because you have to stand for something or you fall for nothing. And you make this too much of ego. When you know you have a career, a talent, and you are sure your talent, you are confident in your resident, that you know what you're doing and you can reach, you have an intention to reach, and you know what I can and I will, then you are going to be firm in yourself. Because the most I give you a talent and help you to improvise on it, it wasn't given to you by man. So there is no one who should subdue themselves to any man, because they can get you on a record and put you out. There are others too who can get you out there without you have to pay them or make your body as a sacrifice.
All right, we are just in the first quarter of the year 2024. Let's get to look at plans that Nana EQ has as far as obviously new music release, music videos, concerts rather, as well as also talking about collaborations probably with African artists.
Yes, I've been thinking about that too. I've been thinking about that too. Because that is so important to me, Because I'm thinking of coming home to my roots, Sometimes I said I want to visit, and sometimes I said when I visit I don't even know what's going to happen, because I'm so African bound that I don't know. I don't know what the most I do. Yes, I don't know. But whenever I come to Africa on a nice tour, then I'm going to own my home there. Wherever our homes, because I might not just love one place. So I want to know that anywhere I am, I have a home there. So I love Africa with all of me. Africa is me and I am Africa. I know my roots. Anyone at all in the diaspora who know their roots, then they will have no other motive than to live in Africa. Oh, my agenda for the year 2024, as you know, sometimes things do come up to that you don't plan. I have shows coming up in America and in Canada and even in the Caribbean, because I'm supposed to be leaving here sometimes in May for Caribbean, and I am looking forward to being in Africa, as some promoters are, trying to get me there.
Yeah.
So I'm just open right now. In the meantime, I'm recording, and doing all the necessary promotions that I have to do.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Well, anyway, Nana, thank you so much for your time this evening. Really appreciate you coming through and sharing with us your musical journey, as well as also getting to share your musical experience.
Thank you for having me, and I'm sending love to all my Zambia family. Just know that Nana EQ love you, and I wish you love me all the same. And thank you for having me on this program. Lots of love. One love to everyone. I'm asking you, please love your neighbors as how you love yourself. And if you find a problem in loving your neighbors closely, love them from far. But we have to remain and keep love in our Black community. Thank you.
Thank you.
No way. Be careful how you're thinking, and be careful what you're writing, cause your meditation create an impact on the next generation. With a positive vibration we can conquer any system. Just show love and receive love, cause love conquers all.